Welcome to Like a Doss, the podcast where Ronnie Doss will share with you insights around life, legacy, and leadership. For more information about our resources, visit our website at dossteam.com. Now let's join the podcast.
Well, hello guys, it's Ronnie Doss. So excited to be here for episode 9 of Like a Doss. Got my main man Joel Bennett with me, who always hosts. If you don't know Joel, maybe this is your first time. Mr. Joel Bennett's a great friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time. He loves to come on here and support me with this podcast. He just asks questions, and we have some great dialogue. So I'm always grateful for Joel. Joel, how you doing here, bud?
Things are going well, and I do appreciate the opportunity to be here, Ronnie. I think that I try to be the voice of people who are listening and say, wait a minute, if they have 5 minutes, they go, Ronnie, I want to ask you this question. I want to be that for them, so I appreciate you letting me be here.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. What's going on?
Well, this is a little bit different podcast. I mean, I know we're up to 9, which is fantastic. But I'm down in Orlando, and I was down here before the shooting happened. I'm still here, and though I wasn't involved in any way, or even 6 or 7 miles away from the incident, it still is striking home to us who are working on a show down here. There are people that we bump into on a normal basis who are doing different shows who are now gone. Their lives were snuffed out, and it's so surreal. And we're all touched by it, and it's hard right now. It's really strange.
Wow. So you're bumping into people that work maybe with other television networks that actually, you've known in your industry that are now have passed on as a result of the shooting.
Exactly. So it's a little heavy down here. We're not going to carry that heaviness into the show, but it is amazing that we need to stay focused and realize that life is precious.
Yeah, for sure, man. Wow. So, well, I'm glad you're all right. I know you're down there. I'm headed down there on Monday. I'll be with NASA on Wednesday. So I'm traveling down Monday, which is my birthday, and looking forward to being down there with those guys for the Lion 2.0 program. But, yeah, man, I'm glad you're all right. And, yes, that is a big thing, Joel. I think a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I'll even say, look, I don't want to be morbid. I'm not trying to make you feel bad in any way. I know I can't make anybody feel a certain way. They make themselves feel a certain way, but I'm not trying to project any negativity on anybody. But I think sometimes we do need to be reminded that we never know what can happen. And when you've had someone that you care about, that you love very deeply, to pass on much quicker than you thought. For me, my stepfather passed away. I had a great friend years ago that passed away very suddenly with a heart issue. Mr. Clemmer and my stepdad both died very suddenly at the age of 60. And, it was hard. And until that's happened, sometimes you just think, oh, man, no, that's rough. But when it hits home, and you actually have some emotional skin in the game, maybe knowing someone, or even just recognizing that all of us, every human being on this planet, that we're all connected, that we're all family. When you start to realize that, you can see situations like this, and it just breaks your heart. Where before I can say, when I was in my 20s and, things happen, it's like, oh, yeah, that's tough. And then you just keep going. But as you get a little older, you start realizing, man, these are real lives that are being impacted. These are somebody's sons, their daughters, their mothers, their fathers, their, friends. And it's tough, man. It is. And so I think a big thing for us, and I don't know what direction you're wanting to go today, is just to remind everybody that's listening. You hear this a lot probably, but let me just remind you, we all have a death date. We do. At some point, we're going to shuffle off this coin. At some point, it's over for us. And we're this is the life legacy program that I'm talking about a lot, is about leaving a legacy and what you leave behind. And we need to be thinking that way, because when it happens, it's too late. The time to get ready and the time to be ready are never the same time. And so, obviously the most important thing is our connection to God and our spiritual walk. I think that's the number one thing we need to focus on. But right alongside that is the relationships that we have here on this planet and how we're going to leave it better when we move on. And we're all going to move on. Somebody listening to this, of all the, now thousands of people that we have listening to this, somebody that's listening is going to be the first person to pass on. And we never think it's going to be us, and we hope it's not us. But when these things happen, it's kind of the reminder that, hey, you need to look at your life and realize that at any moment, things can change. At any moment, an accident can happen. At any moment, something can change to where you're not going to do life the way you used to do it. And, I know you've heard me talk about this a bit before, Joel, but, I call it the first day, last day attitude, or the mindset that I learned from Mr. Clemmer. and that is that you live each day as if it could potentially be your last, not with panic, but with urgency, right? Like, I'm going to get it done. If there's something I know I need to get done, I'm going to put it on a list and I'm going to get it done. I'm going to make the phone calls. I'm going to go ahead and forgive somebody that I need to forgive because I'm not carrying this crap with me on down the road. I'm going to go ahead and continue to play a bigger game so that what I leave behind is going to be good, because one day I'm leaving. So you live with that last day mindset. But then you also live with the first day mindset, and you mix them together. The first day mindset is where if you showed up here on the planet the age you are, and it was your first day, you ask yourself, how would you act? Well, you'd be curious. You'd want to go out and explore. You want to try new things, meet new people. You talk to everybody. You'd ask questions. You're excited to be here, so there's an anticipation. And the one thing that you don't have with the first day is you're not carrying judgment and baggage against anyone else. One of the big problems with this shooting that we have in Orlando is certain people that I've heard, I don't get in it much, and I haven't even paid that much attention to the what goes on social media and threads, because I think that's the garbage of the internet, is that a lot of people might have judgment on these people for their lifestyle, what they believe, and I think that's the most ignorant, idiotic, most negative, small-minded, narrow-minded thing that you can do, is to judge another person because of their lifestyle. You are not put here to judge anybody. You are put here to love people and be kind, and you can't judge people and love people at the same time. The deepest form of love is non-judgment. You can't love somebody when you're judging somebody. That's what Mother Teresa said. And so we look at this situation and go, man, these are real people that are just a little different than us maybe in a certain lifestyle or how they choose to believe or what it is they choose to do. But you know what? That's the beautiful thing about this nation that we live in, is that we're free to be who it is that we want to be. And that means that we should be free to not have to judge somebody else for how they live. And, when these things happen, it stirs up all this stuff because people are just angry in their life. And I've noticed that it's the angry people that aren't doing much with their life that are always quick to judge somebody else and point the finger and say, well, they're this and they're that. But when you're really making stuff happen in your life and you've got a great why, the reason that you're here, is a passion that pushes you every day. And you're reminded that you're here to serve this planet. You're not worried about how somebody's lifestyle is a little bit different. I don't think people need to be worried about what I'm doing in my bedroom with my wife. If it's a gay club, if it's a whatever kind of club, who cares? Why are you worried about what somebody else does? You worry about you. You take care of you. You live your best life, and everybody else can take care of themselves. People in France always say, hey, live and let live. That's a powerful statement. And so, just be kind to people, be your best, set some big goals, crush them, go for it, be happy, serve the planet, everybody, reach and extend your hand to help everybody regardless of how they act. Just be a good person. That's what being a leader is. You leave the planet better than you found it. And so you live in the first day, last day attitude is you're living with urgency, but you got no baggage and no judgment, even on yourself. So you're not carrying something that you didn't do well, a failure that you had before, all that. And you live in the moment. That's a powerful way to live, man. That way you actually live life. You maximize the moments instead of just sitting around looking to judge and wonder what everybody else is doing. Anyway, I'm done.
That was fantastic. I love it when I toss something to you and you got it, and it's you hit so many home runs in each of these episodes. I think you did hit a little bit right there on relationships, and so I want to tell the listeners that coming up in July for the Life Legacy series, Ronnie's going to talk about relationships, and there are so many relationship opportunities in our lives. As he said, these victims were mothers, fathers, sons, brothers. We have so many relationships in our lives that we need to deal with. And Ronnie, give them a taste of what that's coming up and how they can get Life Legacy.
Oh, well, yeah, next month we'll do that on the video program, Life Legacy program. The focus for the month is on relationships. So every month we do a theme. So that's what we're going to be on, next month, starting in July. So if you're not a Life Legacy member, go ahead and sign up for that. You can do it on the website. With all that being said, relationships are the key to life. And they're really what I've heard them call it as life links, that you meet one person and that one person can open the door for the next level for you to meet people that maybe you would have never met. Now, that person that you met in relationship, Joel, may not stay in your life forever, but they could be the person that ushered you to the door that opened for you to get to the next level, and you meet new people that may be in your life. I always say people in your life for a season, for a reason, or for a lifetime. And you don't need to be trying to move people around. You just need to bless everybody, be nice to everybody that's in your life. And so relationships are huge, and I think that the richness of our life is in direct proportion to the richness of our relationships. And you've got to be good in relationship if you want to enjoy your life. You got to practice on how you communicate, how you are. You got to become the friend that you want to attract. You got to be the person. If you want to attract attractive people into your life, you got to become attractive. And I'm not talking about physical, how you look, I'm just talking about all the way around. If you want smarter people around you to help you, you got to become smarter. You got to study more. You got to learn more. You got to enhance your conversation to make you better in relationship. I mean, people that are moving forward and going somewhere, they don't want to hang around with people that are deadbeats, that are life suckers, they'll suck the life out of you. They don't want to hang around people like that. Successful people want to hang with successful people. They do, because it's iron sharpening iron. And so to be good in relationship and have a good life, you got to practice at it. It doesn't just happen by default. Yes, there are people that will love you because they're family and they're there with you no matter what, but you really do have to work. I think your relationships, your friendships deserve that you give your best to it. And that's what relationship is about. It's about you becoming your best. Your relationships are your mirrors for you to look in to see how you're growing and who it is that you're becoming. That's powerful. Without that, you're in your own world. You start to live delusionally, think that you've got the right perspective on life, but you got nobody around you to share life with. And that's. I think it's a big thing to develop better relationships. The relationship I have with you, man, you're awesome. You've got sons that are grown. You got a successful family. You have a successful job. Your wife is amazing. You're the kind of guy that I love to talk to, not just from what I learned from you, from what you say, Joel, but just how you are. You're one of the most kind, compassionate people I've ever met in my life. And when I get around you, I go, man, I could do better. I could be more kind. I could give more. I could serve more. And that's being the light that the world needs. And you have to have people around you that can model that so that you can see where you can grow. If you're the person that's in relationship, that you're the smartest person in your group, well, you need a whole nother group. If you're the one that's answering all the questions, then you need another group. I heard somebody say that if you're already answering more questions than you're asking, your influence is already on the decline because you're not around people that can stretch you. And if you're not stretching, you're not getting better. You're not growing. And over time, that's gonna catch up to you. It might not catch up to you tomorrow. It might not catch up to you next week. But when it does catch up to you, guess what? It's gonna catch up to you for a while, and it's gonna take you a while to shake it. So getting better in relationships on any level is important. And I tell people all the time, why don't you look around at your life and ask yourself what the diversity of relationships that you have are? And it'll kind of show you on some level how cultured you are. Like, we're talking about the nightclub. It was a gay club, right? Do you have any gay friends? Do you have any friends that don't have the same religious views as you? Do you have any friends that don't have the same education as you? Do you have any friends of different color skin than you? Because we all need each other. And I think we can all learn from each other. And so look around. I'm not trying to say that you got to go make a friend just because they look different than you or act different than you, but you got to be open to that, and you got to at least increase your own capacity to be the kind of person that can reach someone for whatever your cause is that may look a little different than you. If all you're doing is looking on the outside at how somebody looks, you're operating from a very, very shallow place, and you will see that your relationships are very, very shallow. It's people in the beginning that you think you have nothing in common with, that don't look anything like you, that don't act like you, that don't think like you, that over time you may find that would be the one standing there with you if you ever had to walk through hell. And most people want to be, I'm your friend, I got your back. But when you start walking through those tough times, you start to see that, yeah, they had your back, but it's way, way, way back. Some people are just good at telling you how they'll be there for you, but when the time gets tough and you're in a pinch, you look to see how many friends you've got. And I've said it before. When you have money, your friends know you, but when you're broke, you know your friends, because you'll know who's going to be there with you when you don't have much to offer them. And so I think over time, relationships are important, but relationships are really about personal development. Relationships are about what you can become. If you think you've arrived and you're enlightened, go hang with your in-laws for a weekend, or go hang with your family for a weekend. You'll see just how enlightened you are. It's easy to be enlightened and think you got it figured out when you're living in a cave out in the woods and nobody's around you. You're like, oh, you're meditating 26 hours a day. There ain't even 26 hours in a day, but you think you're meditating and praying you're enlightened. Now, okay, go ahead and come and hang with the rest of us and be in society, and you'll just see how enlightened you are. So relationships are a way for you to see how well you're doing. And you got to learn to listen, you got to learn to communicate, you got to learn to be present, you got to get control of your mind, your impulses to be better in relationship, and it's an opportunity for you to be better. And the better you get, the better leader you'll be, the bigger impact you can have on this planet. And that is your job, that is my job, that is what leaders do. And so Um, anyway, this is all a long conversation about stuff. I don't know if you even got to your questions yet, but
I have,
you
I
know,
have not.
yeah.
And the funny thing is, that's the teaser for relationships, for life legacy. You're going to love the impact and the content that's coming. So again, go to dossteam.com and sign up for that. I want to talk today about circumstances. How many times have you heard, Ronnie, somebody said, "Oh, but you don't know my circumstances." That's what people say. How do we help that?
Well, circumstances are going to happen. You've got to you got to get clear on what your end objective is, regardless of the circumstances, and just decide that no matter what comes my way, I'm staying focused on where it is that I'm going. And as a result, there are going to be days where you feel like you are sprinting towards the goal line, you are moving forward, you are making it happen, and there are going to be other days that you get up and go, oh my God, I don't think I can go on another day. You know, some days you need one cup of coffee. Some days you just need to jump into the pool of coffee and swim around because it's just one of those days. Circumstances are going to change, but your focus cannot. The things that are going on around you must not dictate what's going on within you. You know, that's the big thing. That's the one thing that I've seen, Joel, that's the difference between leaders and people that just choose to settle and follow. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but I think all of us know that we have something in our life that is the next level for us that we want to kind of jump into or strive towards. And if you want it, that's fine. You can say that you want stuff, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how focused you can get and the disciplines that you can develop along the way. And you've got to be able to develop disciplines and stay focused on these disciplines even when the circumstances get weird. Even when you might lose some money, lose a relationship, lose some of your health, lose an opportunity. I mean, all these things can go on. I mean, you know, these people, even in Orlando, going back to this, the people in Orlando, their families, they're dealing with this tragedy, but they have to keep moving. They've got other people that depend on them. And that's the tough thing about hardships when they come, is a lot of times we're thinking, oh, the hardship will come. But yeah, it's dealing with the hardship, the loss, the mourning, but also being willing to still continue to produce in a way that you need to produce to take care of your family. God forbid something happened to me or my spouse, my wife, Jennifer, somebody's still going to have to take care of our daughters, Addison and Kennedy. And if it happened to one of us, of course, Jennifer and I would be mourning and obviously incredibly sad. But we have to get up and keep going and keep moving for the sake of help ourselves to get over things and handle the loss. But there are other people depending on us. When you decide that you're going to be a leader, you've decided that you're going to show up each day and give your best. On some days, it's easier than others. On some days, you got a smile and you're just happy and you're floating on air. On other days, you want to choke the life out of somebody. That's part of the process. But in all of it, with these different circumstances and all the dramas and all the programs and all the belief systems and all the mindsets that people have, guess what? With all of that, it's just an opportunity for us to continually do this self-reflection and look at ourselves and say, okay, what area can I grow? Because if you don't have some challenging circumstances around you, you might shoot right to the goal line, cross the line, do the touchdown dance, or whatever it is that you do. But that doesn't mean that you've actually gotten stronger. It just means that you got there. And then if you really set a goal for the next level, if you just keep hitting these big goals and you don't have any challenges or adversity to make you stronger, you might create some success that you might not be able to handle for a long time. And you might not have the capacity to be able to handle really great success. And how many times have we seen great success wind up crushing somebody because they didn't go through the processes of life? People want everything instantly, but without the circumstances to come along and to smooth off some of the rough edges and to pull out some of that ego that I don't know where we get it from, but this thing of like entitlement and like, oh, I deserve this and I'm better than everybody else. These things can cause people to think that they're just going to get it in life. But it's when you deal with the circumstances and the challenges that you get better. And so don't ever resist or push against the circumstances. I mean, change what you can change, right? Plan and prepare and create a good future. But when circumstances come at you, you don't resist them. You look at them for what they are and say, okay, this is an opportunity for me to look how I could have possibly prevented that or made it better the next time so that this won't happen again. But also so I can look at myself and see where is it that I can improve. What is it that I can do better so I can handle these challenges as they come? Because the more you move up the ladder of success, the more challenges you're going to face. So if you don't like challenges and stress, you're not going to like leadership, because this is part of it. And so I just want anybody listening to know, you might be starting a business, starting a practice, you may be starting a new relationship, you may be starting a new school, a new diet program, whatever. For you to get better, you're going to have to endure the challenges and the circumstances. You've got to.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think sometimes that we look at these circumstances as stressful, and the challenges that we face, they're not. It's your reaction to the circumstances. Is that correct?
It's not the circumstances that define us. It's our response to the circumstances that define us. And so when the circumstances are pressing on you, you have one of two choices. I can let these circumstances crush me. I can become a victim. I can start looking for reasons why I should quit. I can start telling people how hard it is. I can start looking to manipulate people emotionally and tell them what a struggle I'm on, because that's one of the easiest ways to do it, is to start to manipulate people with emotion, right? That you control people by manipulating them to tell them how bad it is. Or when you feel this pressure, you can go, oh, wow, here's an opportunity for me to get stronger. This is simply an opportunity. And then you kind of get excited about the challenges. Now, I know you hear that and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to get excited about challenges because I'll get more of them. Well, if you run from challenges, you'll remain scared and weak. But if you face the challenges head on, you get stronger, right? And you gain a greater self-image, because you start to see yourself as someone that will tackle the things that need to be tackled, Joel. And a lot of people won't do that. They just don't. And I think that we've got to get really clear on the fact that we're going to have to deal with these challenges, but who is it we want to become in the process of these challenges? And as long as you're good with that, then the circumstances won't define you, but you'll define your own self by simply how you respond to those.
That is good, Ronnie. I want to tell everybody out there listening that Ronnie has helped shape the way I talk, the way I think, just by the repetition that I hear the things, and you finally start to take it in. You go, this is amazing. I can change my lenses. And I want to encourage you guys out there to grab hold of all the resources that Ronnie has. Like we said, in July, he's going to start the Life Legacy series with relationships. There's still plenty of time in June where you can jump on what we're on right now, but get signed up for that, and it'll change the way you think. And when you change the way you think, you change your outcome. And you have to find a why, and you can overcome these situations. And that's what I like about you, Ronnie. You help us to point to a why, and then we can get it.
Well, it's all about every bit of what you do, what you create, and what you see. Those three things, what you do, what you create, and what you see, have to do with the perspective that you have on you. What you do has a lot to do with how you see you. What you create has to do with the habits that you develop because of how you see you, right? And so all these things, and even what you see, oh my gosh, you can look at the world right now and you can focus on this thing that happened in Orlando and just go, oh my gosh, and let it wreck you for a while, and then get angry and want to point the finger and let that really deplete much of the energies that you have to create solution. We've got to be solution oriented as leaders. Look at the world and go, how can I be a solution? Yes, get mad. Yes, get angry at people for being judgmental. Whatever they are, get angry at that. But here's the deal. Use it to get started and then get over it. Get past it. There's nothing wrong with getting angry. There's nothing wrong with being frustrated with how the world is. There's nothing wrong with getting frustrated with the fact that people die every day because of disease and starvation. There's nothing wrong with that. Get angry, but use it to dial into your why, so that when you wake up in the morning, you can go, you know what, I'm going to do something about what's going on in the world. When you do that, the universe responds, because the universe is good. God created the universe. It's a good thing. It's the temptations and the belief systems and the mindsets that are provoked by the media and are provoked by all these people that want to control us and manipulate us to get us to do what the system, so to speak, wants us to do. And if you don't think that we live in a system that has to do with drugs and education and with how things are in the media and money and control and war, if you don't think that we live in a system, you're clueless. I spend a lot of my time looking at this going, what if what we've been told just isn't true? And you start looking at that going, man, I could see how this could be that way and how that could happen. So you start to look at things with a little more discernment, not from freaked out and worried, because I'm happy. I enjoy my life. But I've learned to use things that I don't like to drive me to take some positive action. But if you stay angry and mad because you didn't get what you want and your parents treated you bad and your job laid you off and you don't have as much money as you want and the economy's bad and you hate the president and all these shootings happen and the world's just bad, then man, you have wrecked and ruined your life, because your life is the sum total of the moments that you've been given. And if you're ruining the moments, you're ruining your life. So you got to get control of the moments by having the right perspective. So these belief systems that run us in these areas, Joel, they really are what determines what we create and what we see and what we do, all that stuff. But it's perspectives. And we've got to work to change perspectives. They don't just shift automatically. Some of them can happen quickly. You could start to see someone differently because you had an experience with them and go, oh, I thought that person was this way. They're not. So you've changed a set of lenses because of that experience. But some lenses that you have are so deeply ingrained in you, when it's time to change them, you start to change them. It's like they jump back up on your face. You have to wrestle them down. And your life may be a process of wrestling these old belief systems and limitations. That's okay. That's the part of growing, is you're wrestling with these old belief systems and you're trying to get past them because you know the next level is going to require it. So anyway, that belief systems, mindset, all this stuff is personal. All personal development and growth is personal. That's why you have to do the work. Nobody's going to do the work for you. So anyway, I feel like I'm on a rant today, man. I don't know what this is, good or not.
It is good. It is good. And I think we've hit several different topics, but they're all really intertwined. And that's what I like about the lessons that you give us, Ronnie. It's a growth, and it's pointing us upward and in the positive direction. I thank you for that. We're really running out of time right now. Can you give people just a nugget to think about?
Look, obviously I'm getting stirred up talking about this stuff. I think the big thing, man, is just pray for these people that are hurting. Prayer changes things. I don't think that it changes God. It doesn't change the universe that God's created, but I think it changes us, and it changes our state. It changes our mindset. It changes our energy, our spirit. It changes our vibration, so to speak, the energy that we're putting off. And so just pray for these people, and pray for the people that are hurting. Just pray for the world. Pray for your enemies. Pray for people that have wronged you. I had somebody say to me, Ronnie, we don't pray for people that we talk about, and we don't talk about people that we pray for. And when they're talking about talking about, they're talking about talking negatively. So if you've got somebody that you feel has wronged you, pray for them. It'll change your perspective on them. Pray for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love you. Because if the people in this world really loved themselves, they wouldn't do this stupid stuff that's going on around us. You wouldn't have people picking up guns and killing other people if people really felt loved. If they felt that this love for humanity, for our fellow brothers and sisters, if we felt love, we don't do stupid stuff like that. And so I just think that it's staying in that place of love and honor of others, but also yourself. It's what Jesus said, love the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's what he said. I don't care what your religion is, but that's what Jesus said. He said these are the two most important things. All this other stuff you can hang up, because it's really secondary to this main thing. Love God and love your neighbor as you love you. That just means be kind all around. And when you learn to do that and just say, hey, man, I'm not getting caught in this system that's telling me that I got to perform, I got to have, I got to acquire, I got to consume, I got to show everybody, impress everybody, and you're all stressed out and you ruin much of your life. You ruin the days that you could have used to build something better for your family and your friends and for the people that you care about. We got to make sure we're not in that pattern. And I think just slowing up, taking some time to ourselves, praying and believing for the good and speaking good things over our life, and being kinder than we have to be. Oh my gosh, you be kinder than you have to be. Go to your job, be kinder than you have to be. You'll see that good things will happen. And the world needs you. The world needs me. The world needs you, Joel. The world needs all of us to just be our best. We don't know what other people are going through, and we don't know that, all the times that we're going to have to go through stuff. So just be kind, love people, pray for people, put love out there, and be the light. You know, what's the old saying? Don't wait on the light at the end of the tunnel. Be the light at the beginning of the tunnel. And if we do that, I think good things will happen.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Well, thank you guys for being on. Hope you enjoyed today. God bless you. If you need me ever, you can email me info at dossteam.com. Info at dossteam.com. We'd love to hear from you. Like or share this, however that needs to look. Get this to some folks. We appreciate you very much. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. The Like a Doss podcast is released every first and third Friday of the month. For more information, visit our website at dossteam.com.